Wednesday, my dude.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dude. How you doing?
It is Wednesday, my dude. So I'm doing all right. I've got a couple hours off and I'm spending it with you and our wonderful people here. So
fun, right? I like it. All right, the best community and on the interwebs.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
How's your world?
It's all right. You know, we're one foot in front of the other. My younger son, Xander, leaves a week from today. So I am whatever the opposite of counting down the minutes. I'm like holding on to every minute really tight and trying not to get him, like not to nudge him too much and get him annoyed and let us all enjoy the last week. How about you?
Oh, I'm just here, me, myself, and I with my num juice, getting through it.
Okay. I like that. Your num juice.
Nothing exciting to report at all.
Self-medication, num. That's the perfect name for it.
Right.
I saw your post yesterday with yourself in a mask, and I really don't leave the house all that much. But in the last week, I finally got my hair done like a week ago. Only person wearing a mask. And then yesterday I took Lucky to the vet just for a checkup. Only one wearing a mask. And the doctor, she was lovely. She's in her probably 60s. So like, whatever, I guess she's just throwing caution to the wind. But this is a separate thing. It just did make me laugh because she's a vet and my dog is very high strung. And she was saying that she, the vet, had like needles and blood make her faint, which first of all, I only ever know men who are like that, right? Yeah. And so I've only ever known men, and yes, interesting profession, but she said that there was a whole support group in veterinary school with her of like 11 of the 50 who had that same response. So when they had to take blood or do, whatever they had to do, they would all support each other and, wake each other up and be there when they fell. I honestly thought it was only a male thing.
I think that's true. I mean, I can back it up. The people I know are all men. And personally, I have no qualms about seeing blood or stabbing people, but stabbing myself, like even when I have to prick my own finger for something, is so hard to do. It's like a survival instinct of like, I can't hurt myself. Why would it cause my own injury?
I actually totally agree with that. Like I have a hard time. We used to do like, oh, we'll be blood sisters, like in 5th or 6th grade slumber parties. That's a hard one. I agree. But like if somebody did it to me, I'd be fine. It's hard to do. It's like you can't tickle yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. We are so happy to be here with everybody. We want, as always, to ask everyone to make sure to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell, por favor. And we will thank our wonderful pup heroes and shearers.
Thank you.
You guys are the best. I know some people do this at the end of their show, but we like to start on a high note and end on a different high note. So thank you all very much. We're scared that you won't be here at the end. No, I'm kidding. Not really. Sort of. We've been going on for really long shows. So I would hate to force anybody to wait that long.
Yeah. One of these shows, so like one of us will fall asleep. We need to do that.
That'd be hilarious.
Like just go on forever until I'm just over it.
We
something.
should do like a fundraiser for a great charity, like the Samir Project or something like that, and do like a 24-hour marathon and just have, keep it going. That'd be kind of cool. Interesting.
I'm all for it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of money, but I like to donate. When I do donate, I like to donate. Like I just bought some artwork from a Palestinian person that you can, I mean, she's just selling it digitally, but you get to print it and she's making it in Palestine. And it's so sad because she has to actually burn most of her work. Like, it's just, but finding a cause like that we could all put our energies into, I think would be great. So I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Yeah. And no, first of all, no, not Cory Booker style, because we'd be doing it for something, not just to sell an upcoming book. And also, I would not be wearing diapers. I would remove myself to go to the bathroom.
I might be the guy in diapers who has a little thing next to him, a little colonoscopy bag, or I don't know, but can we call it Jesus, I can't even think of the term.
Standing up the filibuster.
Oh God, the filibuster edition.
I like it. The non-empty filibuster. Take a stand.
Yeah.
All right. So should we start with our cheers or a spin of the wheel? What's your feeling?
I think cheers. Let's do our cheers.
Okay. So this is I think she is Palestinian American, but I am not entirely sure. Her name is Yasmin Nazir. She is a chef who makes videos on TikTok aimed at those in Gaza to make food only with the ingredients that they have. For example, she taught people how to make vegan chicken, and the comments are flooded with people thanking her after trying her recipes. This is how you use your platform. So this is Yasmin Nasir.
يا أهلنا المرابطين في غزة، شو رأيكم نغسل عجين ونصنع منه دجاج؟ بس رح نحتاج لطحين، مي وملح، وإن شاء الله يكونوا متوفرين عندكم. يلا دجاج القمح اسمه سيتان. لما نغسل عجينة مرتاحة بالمي من 4 ل 5 مرات رح نكون عم نفصل النشا من البروتينات اللي بالطحين، ومنضل نغسل من 4 ل 5 مرات مثل مبدأ الرز لحد ما المي تصفى عندي. اللي بضل معنا هو البروتين اللي هو الجلوتين، وهاي المادة رح تكون الأساس في صنع الدجاج النباتي. أما النشا بنقدر نجففه وبعدين نستخدمه بوصفات تانية. لما نبهر الجلوتين ونريحه نص ساعة رح يمد معانا بكل سهولة، ولما نقطعه ونجدله هيك بنصنع نسيج بيشبه النسيج اللي باللحمة والدجاج، وبنربطه مثل الجبنة المجدلة، وبنقدر نقليه بشوية زيت كخطوة اختيارية عشان نقلل امتصاص كمية كبيرة من مية السلق. وبعد القلي بنلفها بورق شاش أو قماشة نظيفة وبنسلقها بمي مغلية مع بهارات لمدة ساعة على نار هادية، وبعد ما يبرد بيتفتفت مثل الدجاج المسلوق. نقدر ناكله مثل ما هو أو نستخدمه بالوصفات اللي بدنا إياها كبديل للدجاج. نسبة البروتينات النباتية اللي فيه كتير عالية، الله يثبتكم وينصركم. 85% نفس نكهة وقوام الدجاج.
So Yasmin, yeah, it's so cool. Yasmin.Nasir, it's on TikTok. She has tons of video, and it's all what people in Gaza might be able to find right now if they're, I mean, it's insane. But anyway, I just think that that's really cool. It looks delicious.
I know. And I'm not vegan at all, but I support like eating more vegan as much as I can.
Yeah.
Like I've said before, my girlfriend made me vegan because she was cooking all our dinners and I didn't realize it. And I had literal nightmares about killing chickens before I realized what had happened.
Wait, for real?
For real. I'd moved in with her and she was cooking the meals. So I'm not a cook, and it was all pastas and vegan. So I hadn't had any, real big source of protein. So I was having literal dreams about killing chickens.
But wait, you knew that she was cooking vegan for you?
I did not.
You did not. And you had those dreams?
I did not. And the dreams came, and then I registered like, holy crap, she's cooking all our meals. I haven't had protein. It's a legitimate response from my body from not having protein.
Oh my God.
Anyway, where I was going with that is that looked delicious. That looked like
Yeah.
actual shredded chicken texture. Like getting the texture right is amazing to me. So
Yeah.
I would eat the crap out of that.
Yeah, same. So cheers to her and anybody trying to bring any morsel of joys. Cheers. Okay, here we go. Let's spin.
Let's go with some actual joy. Although that was joy. And where is the wheel?
Unmitigated joy.
Oh, we're going disco style today.
I don't hear anything. Oh.
No audio?
I didn't hear audio, but maybe I'm the only one.
I'll have to fix that. Well, while I fix that, let's play.
Yeah, let's have it.
Should we go with bunnies, dirty dogs, or cat alarm?
I'm going to leave that to you, so you feel like you have a little bit of control, Pat.
Well, if I go with dirty dogs, it leaves the longest time for me to fix the audio. Right. So dirty dogs it is.
Steven! No!
Duncan, are you kidding me right now? Duncan!
Ma'am. Are you breadcrumbing yourself now?
Oh, whiskey. Oh, honey. Are you serious right now? Oh, God. Oh, my gosh, I can't. There's a frog on you! Oh, my God.
Come on. No, don't eat that. Oh, no.
Tell me you have a Springer without telling me you have a Springer. I'll go first.
Do you want to get out?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You know what? This is the best day of your life, and I'm just going to let you continue to have it.
Wow. That's really sweet. There are a lot of dog owners who are much more patient than I would be. When, I mean, this is like, I'm always going to bring us to a sad place. I can't remember, Asher was just finishing 5th grade. We just realized we were going to have to sell our house. It was after the strike. We had no money. We were in tons of debt. And he didn't get into the program that we all wanted him to get into in middle school. We had to sell our house. I took the boys to the park where one was on the baseball field. The other was going into his basketball practice. I let our dog at the time off the leash. We had just gotten her and we couldn't even afford it, but groomed and all that. She ran, she found a mud puddle, dropped in it. And I just sat down and started crying. I was like, nothing's going right. We have to sell our house. We have no money. My kid didn't get into the good program at the middle school. I mean, he ended up being in a great school, whatever. But like, so every time I see that, I'm like, but it's very sweet that these owners had such appreciation and joy for their dogs who obviously love rolling in mud, which is so crazy.
So yeah, I have never personally owned a dog, but our family's had dogs. And I used to take, as an adult, I would steal their dogs and take them to the beach with me for fun, just because I liked it. And I just got a new truck or SUV, and we're going over the bridge in Burlingame. I think it's like a 20-minute bridge ride before you get to the other side. And I look back, and the dog's just arched, exploding all over my entire back seat. And I thought you would appreciate that because you would have just driven off the bridge, probably knowing you had to clean up.
I would have abandoned the car for sure. Right. Oh my God, that's crazy. You must have some crazy effect on animals, Pat. You just make them relax everything. They're just like,
by far the most disgusting cleanup I've ever had to do in my life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would make me absolutely be grateful just for mud. 100%. Yes, a
There you go.
poopmobile. Okay, let's get into it. We are in the craziest of crazy times, and I just every day they find a new way to rock my world in the worst possible decisions with the worst possible decisions. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we saw that they were going to that the administration was trying to make or I don't know, it was an executive. No, it was a federal judge who passed down a decree that the Israeli flag, because of the Star of David, is actually a symbol of Judaism. So burning it is a hate crime. And then there was a response from people who are principled, but then also the MAGA America First people who are like, why do we have more, we can burn our own flag and we can't burn the Israeli flag, and that's crazy. So Trump, responding to his base, made his own decree. Was this yesterday? Little decree.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement is
incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately.
Yeah, the threat of jail has diminished crime so much. You can tell because we have more caged people in our country than any other country in the world, and they still
Yeah, look, it's clearly unconstitutional. I mean, the reason we have, freedom of speech allows absolutely to burn an American flag. I understand the premise behind the Nazi symbol. I mean, I've replaced Nazi with, wow.
Well, so have a lot of us. I mean,
yeah, I don't agree with that ruling at all, but at least legally there's some claim you could make to that. There's no claim to say,
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
An American flag is some sort of protected class. Like, it's freedom. I mean, no, who's the most mad about this ruling? I mean, this fake executive order that will not be enforceable anywhere,
right,
but will be challenged. It will be challenged. They will bring some charges against some people. Veterans are the most mad about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've got example of people doing that and being arrested right in front of the White House. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, I think a lot of people have seen it, but technically when you read the rulings, how to treat a flag or something, it says after a certain point when your flag is tattered, you're supposed to burn it. Like,
oh, really?
It's literally in how to maintain a flag. I saw a TikTok from a veteran on it.
Right.
And, and so it's,
I mean, the idolatry around a flag is so ridiculous anyway. Like, it's ridiculous that the same people who don't want, who it's not allowed to touch the ground. So are you allowed to put it all over your paper cups and paper plates and t-shirts if you're celebrating July 4th? Is that not some sort of desecration? I think the whole thing is ridiculous. And it really, once again, goes to the heart of everything this country is supposed to stand for. And as you said, it's veterans who are the ones who are now in front of the White House setting it on fire because they know that they took an oath to the Constitution if they are principled, and they know what they fought for. And it's very difficult now to explain to anybody what you might be fighting for if you joined the military.
Right. And look, when you lost the Barstool Bros,
oh my God,
I mean, you're in trouble. This is the MAGA base is watching you make it illegal to burn an Israeli flag and then taking away the freedom of Americans to burn a U.S. flag. Now they love hating you for burning an American flag.
Right.
They'll say you should be deported, you should whatever, but they also understand, without the propaganda, without the gaslighting, without the spin to make it, illegal, they understand you should have the right to do awful things. And that's what the flag is about. Like your freedom of expression and opinion is more important than anything. And that's
I mean,
most of
yeah.
them get it, honestly.
I am surprised, when was it? About a year ago when we started seeing town halls where people were standing up and fighting against or speaking out about Israel's genocide and getting, silenced and hauled out. And then when it started happening to military vets, so it was like cops pulling out military vets who were saying, this is what I fought for. Like, we are supposed to be able to come speak out at town halls, to hold our representatives to account, to register our protests. And we're being thrown in jail for peacefully protesting. And so, like, back then, this was a year ago at least, I really thought it was going to come to a head between military and cops. And it hasn't. And I'm waiting for that moment because as Trump continues to, bring in National Guard and stifle protest and haul, brown-skinned people off the streets and just assume that they look like illegals and then they're American US citizens anyway, but like obviously no one should be treated like that. But like I thought that there would be more confrontation between principled military and cops. I was hoping at least.
Yeah, that's what I see more is you could get some vigilante groups. Like, it's not going to be a large veterans against the cops movement or something like that, but
I don't know. It's very,
look how many veterans have stood up for Gaza and Palestine, and like, none of it matters. And all with all the town halls, they're just stopping the town halls. They're just like, we don't do town halls anymore, is what these politicians are saying. Karen Bass just came out and said she's done with town halls.
It is insane. Yeah. So let's show a couple of them because we can start with Republicans. We never even got to this one, but it's pretty good. It's Stefanik from New York, Representative Stefanik. This is from a couple of days ago, her town hall. But people are not having it. Even Republicans in Republican districts who are talking to their elected Republican representatives. So, Elise Stefanik.
Congresswoman Elise Stefanik booed today while attempting to address a crowd.
Protesters zeroed in on Stefanik's stance on the war in Gaza, barely letting her speak and forcing her to cut her speech early.
The American people proudly stand with Israel. As a lifelong admirer, supporter, and true friend of Israel,
stand with Israel, and we will vote on the Israel Security Supplemental Appropriations Act, a standalone $17.6 billion package which will provide life-saving funding and resources to stand with Israel.
Throughout my life, the importance of the state of Israel was clear.
Barely letting her speak and forcing her to cut her speech early.
It is truly humbling to be here to commemorate and honor the great John Zerlo. I'm going to turn this back to you, Mark. If that is not being respectful, John Zerlo is deeply respectful. I'm going to turn it back to you.
They keep doing this thing like, you're not being respectful. I mean, it's very like, shh, I'm speaking. Do you want Trump? It's that kind of like school marm fucking bullshit that's their whole point. And as Truth to Tweet said, it's not a rule. It should be. They need, when Democrats talk about we need democracy, and then they don't fight for a single goddamn thing. But yeah, one of the things should be debates. The other one should be town halls that are specified and required. Like that, that's the way a democracy should work. Do you have anything to say? Because then we also have Susan Collins, and this is pretty good too.
Well, absolutely. And I didn't pull the Karen Bass clip, but she was interviewed about that recently.
I have Karen Bass one. I was just going to go through
Oh, we're good to get to the end. But look, it should be an absolute mandatory requirement. They work for us. I mean, where's the accountability? If they can just say it, if both parties, the Republicans and Democrats, can both agree we're not doing town halls anymore.
Yep.
and there's no other option than these two parties. What, where is our leverage other than Luigiing? Like,
We're
honestly,
fighting for
what is
democracy.
left for us? What is left?
That's not democracy. That's not fighting for your democracy. What was the event? I feel like it was a DNC convention. It was something specifically Dem related, where Palestinian protesters, anti-genocide protesters, were outside, and the attendees, it might have been the Met, I don't know. Anyway, went in covering their ears, like, la 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 la, I'm not listening to all you people who are against a genocide. I mean, I guess they should be grateful that they weren't being dragged off by Gestapo, but
yeah, I think it was outside. It was people leaving the Met Gala. I think you're correct on that. Yeah.
Or DNC something.
No, it wouldn't have been the Met Gala because it was definitely an all Democratic Party event. You're right.
Daniel, I see, says it was
DNC
DNC
convention.
something last year. Yeah. And
DNC convention, yeah.
Unfortunately, I think there is a lot of people who got way too comfortable. I mean, all of us included, and let things go and assume that certain policies wouldn't take hold or people wouldn't be able to do the worst of what they said. But I mean, I think we should all be disabused of that since at least, 2000. But anyway, okay. So then this was Susan Collins, who is being not primaried, but who has a couple of different, we're going to get to this, a couple of different Democratic candidates who are running to unseat her Senate seat in Maine. This is Susan Collins.
Shame, 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 Let's do Medicare, Medicaid.
Oh, but I'm so disgusted with the cuts the Republican Party has made to this big ugly bill. That's get out of here.
So, ma'am, if you would let me celebrate. Oh, please.
There's no celebration during this time.
You're gonna fat shame me? So could you just...
You're not so slim yourself.
Could you please just listen for just one...
Like you. No, you never listened to us. You never listened to your job. Your votes destroyed our Supreme Court. You refuse to have town halls with us. We are listening to us.
For a moment,
Why are you funding genocide?
could you just listen?
You have voted for our Israel every vote.
I have a suggestion. Could you listen to the suggestion?
Vote Graham Butler.
Could you listen to the suggestion?
It better include a town hall.
Here is my suggestion. I would like the town of Searsport, which has worked so hard with state, local, and with me, to bring today about, to be able to celebrate.
What about Gaza?
Could you just wait?
Why? And why should we wait? Why should we wait? Why? You are the president of genocide. It's our future. You should be in the Hague.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good.
That's happening everywhere to every single politician on either side of the aisle, and it's fucking glorious.
Yep. And the only people to whom it is not happening are people like this lady. This is a short clip, but
And what I used to do is I used to do town halls all the time. And I love that public engagement. Town halls are a little more difficult now, though, not having anything to do with this year, but just having to do with the nature of public discourse now.
Yeah, not having anything to do with this year or the fact that you guys are onto our fucking shtick.
I mean, they all go to the same McKinsey talking points, right? Would she say the nature of the conversation these days, or the nature of discourse? It's like shocks the conscience. The Pete Buttigieg, the nature of discourse, it shocks the conscience, like the fucking genocide. And you've got Gestapo on the streets of LA that LAPD is paving the way for, clearing the path for them to abuse our citizens, haul them off, go to hospitals, schools, abuse journalists. Like, yeah, is the nature of discourse a little different, Mayor Bass? I mean, so what's the democracy, right? Like, what is the democracy in this situation?
Yeah. I mean, we need a list of like 10 demands before anyone deserves a vote. And like one of them is you don't take AIPAC money.
Yep.
You support Palestine. You support universal health care. You speak to your constituents X number of days a year, publicly recorded. You debate X number of candidates who reach a 10% threshold according to these, numbers. We need to take their power away, or they will never get our vote. Like, you want our vote, bare fucking minimum this right here.
Absolutely.
Either side, you're not getting it without that.
Yeah, I think AIPAC, anybody who's taking money from AIPAC or any of the Jewish lobby groups, Israel lobby groups, sorry, I should have clarified. Look, I'm doing it now too. Justin, thank you. See a couple of gifted memberships. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a real death knell right now. So before so we're sort of zigging and zagging here. There's another town hall with Ron Wyden, also basically booed off the stage. I think that's happened twice this week. We don't really need to watch it. It's just they live in such a bubble, which again, to your point, to all of our point, is that they need to be, instead of jetting off to Israel during their August vacation to have an all-inclusive propaganda tour, they need to go back and talk to their constituents and know what they are dealing with and what people in their towns and in their states are actually feeling, because it feels like this is a shock to them.
And look, part of it is a shock because they do live in the bubble, like you mentioned, but then part of it is just like, hey, you need public shame often if you're on the wrong side of this shit. So, it's going to provide a soundbite for your opponents, but that's the whole point is, when Bernie let people speak who were noisy at his rallies, he got positive press from it, where when Hillary pulled her whole, she did
the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. I mean, we need these moments, right? And we can't normalize them not talking to the public, because then they can just say, well, all politicians are hated. It just comes with the territory, and then ignore the public completely.
Yeah. Again, so like all this sort of like bland talk about saving a democracy has to come with concrete demands, one of which, bare minimum, should be having discussions and listening to your constituents. And
look, you wouldn't get yelled out of every meeting if you had several meetings and somebody would say, let's have a discussion.
Yeah.
But when you show up for 10 minutes and you control the narrative, and in the case of Susan Collins, that wasn't even a town hall because she's not having them. So of course you're going to get steamrolled.
Yeah.
It's
the nature of discourse these days. It's the craziest thing.
Yeah, I do want to show one more of them.
Of course.
I think seeing the Dem side of it is important.
Yeah.
And look, he's not even taking that much AIPAC money, but it's enough. And God bless him for ripping the shit out of him.
You free Palestine! You!
We're not prepared. I'm not the government of Israel.
This is a Democrat.
New Jersey politicians are facing growing criticism after taking recent trips to Israel, igniting what could be a political storm come election time.
It's been an eventful a few days here in Israel.
I love all this. It's great.
Yeah.
And I
Oh, please.
really hope that they are not allowed to decide not to do town halls, although who's going to hold them to account with that? But I don't know why there is a feeling that you can talk about any human rights or social commitments to people or democracy when you're a party of genocide. Like, for any Democrat to moralize about anything Trump is doing, if that person either voted for or endorsed Biden and Harris, the hypocrisy is so appalling. It is so grotesque for anybody who sees what's happening every single day by Israel to Palestinians.
But I just want to mention, even if it wasn't, even if, it's a 50-50 confusing situation or whatever, like, let's just devil's advocate a little bit. You represent your constituents that all don't want this to happen.
No.
So you can't just not be held to account for taking a position against your constituents. Like, if it is a moral fight that we should be in, you should make the clear moral argument that convinces your constituents and change that perspective of 90% of Democrats are against this to something else. But they can't, because they are on the wrong side of it. But it's up to them to change the narrative. It's not up to us to prove our opinions are right.
And now that they've killed almost every single journalist, we're going to get to this when we get to Israel, but there's so much less information coming out than even before. It's just, I don't know. It's really horrific. Okay. Let's just keep going with let's go back. I'm going to bob and weave a little bit to Republicans. So if we are, so this, 2 days ago, I think, was the anniversary of the Charlottesville Unite the Right. This was, I do not normally happily repost anything from MSNBC, but I do think that the glee with which people, and this is on both sides in different ways, but the glee with which the right is openly bigoted against anybody not white has been amplified or has been encouraged by a second Trump regime.
On the anniversary of the deadly Charlottesville riot, where neo-Nazis marched by torchlight, chanting about immigrants and Jews, the lawyer who helped organize that event, that march, tweeted this: 8 years ago, you were an extremist if you protest being replaced by immigrants. Your life was over if you talked about stopping or reversing it. Now it is official White House policy. Never give up. Well, ex-Proud Boy leader Enrique Tarrio put it this way, quote, things we were doing and talking about in 2017 that were taboo, they're no longer taboo. They're mainstream now. Honestly, what do we have to complain about these days? Joining us now.
So then you have this Republican candidate. Oh shoot, I don't know where she is, but Enrique Tarrio, and this lady Valentina Gomez, who's a Republican candidate. Like, clearly they are not the white supremacist ideal of a white American, right? And so to see like them embracing it, it's like, Jews who embrace neo-Nazis. I mean, it's crazy, but here she is talking about the one true God in our country. She is a Republican candidate.
America is a Christian nation, so those terrorist Muslims can off to any of the 57 Muslim nations. Your daughters will be raped and your sons beheaded unless we stop Islam once and for all. There is only one true God, and that is the God of Israel.
So-
meanwhile, like ICE could round her up any second, be like, well, you don't look like you're American. Like, pick
but I
your.
just want to.
Yeah, sorry.
No, but we just talked about the flag. The Israeli flag is a hate crime to burn because it has religious connotations. And here she is running for office with a flamethrower on a Bible. I mean, the Quran, but like the equivalent of the Bible to another religion, and that's legal.
Totally legal.
That's not a hate crime. I mean,
and also thanks,
and
Biden.
I don't think it should be a hate crime.
I agree.
Honestly.
I mean, I think it's gross, but like, yeah, it should be legal. It's just disgusting. Yeah. But like, if Biden and Kamala and every major media outlet had not run with that atrocity propaganda that was complete lies about the mass rape and beheadings and babies in ovens on October 7th. But now, both sides of the aisle will engage in this sort of Islamophobic rhetoric.
No, it was enabled by the Democrats who wouldn't even let Palestinians speak at their convention, who said the problem is the border. Yes, we agree with Republicans that the border is the problem. Yes, we agree with all their stereotyping that drugs are coming across from Mexico and that Trump's rhetoric about racist criminals is bad. We were too slow to pick up on the fact that the public thought Mexicans were all racist. So, Mexicans were all criminals and that kind of thing. They lean into this hard. And it's because of them that we got to this point.
It really is. And it's so racist and bigoted and disgusting. And Justin, I don't know totally what you mean by this. So I'm just going to quickly refer to the Charlie Hebdo incident. We had pulled a clip a few weeks ago and then never showed it. But the response by world leaders when the journalists and cartoonists at Charlie Hebdo were killed or attacked, and now I can't remember specifically, but at least a couple of people were killed for there was a cartoon that was what was it showing? It was showing Muslim. No, what was it doing? Was it showing like the killing of a Muslim person or the Quran or something, and they were trying to show that there was, Islamic furor amongst certain people who are Muslim, and that was the cartoon, the political cartoon, and a Muslim then came and killed a few people at Charlie Hebdo, and world leaders all came to support journalism and freedom of speech in a way that no world leaders have shown up for all of the hundreds of Palestinian journalists who have been killed. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see from chat, and I couldn't remember myself, but it was that they actually physically depicted Muhammad in a cartoon when you weren't allowed to, under the rules of the Quran,
right?
Islam, you're not supposed to draw the effigy
Muhammad, right?
Muhammad.
But thank you, everybody. I just got a crazy hot flash. my mind disappeared for a second. Woo. Okay. Anyway, that is, not sending their best, but it does really feel like, when people like Glenn Greenwald showed a clip of Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia talking about how being able to burn the flag is protected by the Constitution, protected free speech, protected protest of your government. Antonin Scalia, one of the most repulsive human beings in the world, was on the correct side of this issue. And I mean, like, I haven't even heard any Democrats talking about this. I don't hear them talk about it.
I think that's the big point, right? Is that Democrats aren't fighting this. I mean, if this is all repulsive to us, how do we change it? Because the side you're telling me we have to vote for isn't fighting any of it. And they're not changing the discourse publicly at all because they're not talking about it. I mean, that commercial she ran, the disgusting flamethrower bullshit, separation of church and state. You're literally running for office on being, first off, not even a Christian, which is odd to me that you're going to say, I mean, yes, the Jewish God is in theory the same Christian God.
Yeah.
But they have different rules. But anyway,
Yeah.
odd to me that you're not even running as a Christian.
God of Israel. Yeah.
Right.
Well, but that is, I mean, that's like the Huckabee Christianity, right?
Yeah, no, I get
Yeah.
it. But it's
Yeah.
just, it's very
It's so
strange to me.
bizarre.
But you should, anyone running against them should say, hey, I respect all. You should be making the case of like freedom of religion, freedom from religion, but we don't want it in our politics because look at that.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yep.
And you could get Christians on board with disliking that because, you know,
yep.
On its own, it's just like you don't
desecrate
don't
somebody
hate
else's
based on your religion, and then don't bring that into politics at all. You are the living example of why we don't want those two to merge.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I just feel like it's so permissible to have, I mean, Islamophobia feels like the wrong word because, you know, phobia means fear, but whatever. The hatred of Muslims is so allowed that we have people signing bombs that are going off to kill babies, you know, like, I don't know. It just, it feels like so many lines have been crossed and so much that I mean, I believe that people obviously have always been racist or bigoted, but there was an attempt to keep it to yourself a little bit by some people, which I don't know if that's healthier or not, but I really hate this where people are proudly wearing their bigotry is disgusting.
Well, honestly, like, I mean, look, we've been a racist country from our origin, obviously. Right. But in recent history, 9/11 really opened up the floodgates to being anti-Muslim.
Yep.
And good Democrat Bill Maher, who was always the anti-religious guy, he's anti-religion, but he's like, you can't pretend Christianity is as bad as Muslim shit.
Yeah.
You know, that was always his shtick.
Yep.
And that was very popular with the leftists,
crowd.
I mean, you know,
yeah,
libs.
Absolutely. Yeah. Call it like you see it, politically incorrect.
And
absolutely.
Don't forget that connection to that, how all the hatred for some of these countries, in particular Iraq, was fueled in large part by Netanyahu.
Oh, 100%. We really do have to do a 9/11 show episode.
We should do a 9/11
we have to bring
show. I don't think a lot of people connect some of that.
Yeah, he pushed that hard, and that's all I'll say for right now. Okay, here's another part though of, you know, which things are allowed in schools and how do we want our country to be run. This just passed in Beverly Hills, my neck of the woods, not exactly, but sort of. Beverly Hills public schools will display Israeli flag in a bid to fight anti-Semitism. So when you go deep down here, which is very small, so I'm going to get very close, but it is mostly for the Beverly Hills Unified School District Board of Education has approved a proposal to display the flag on all campuses and district facilities in recognition of Jewish American Heritage Month in May. The proposal is part of a resolution to combat anti-Semitism that also calls for educating students about Jewish history and commemorating Holocaust Remembrance Day, International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and October 7th as a day of remembrance of the 2023 Hamas-led attack on Israel. And that, to me, conflates so many things that should be peeled away from each other, because the state of Israel should not be celebrated. It is an apartheid, occupying, colonizing state, which is doing a genocide. That does not belong in our schools at all. Yes, if you want to talk about the history of the Holocaust and never again, and talk about what leads to people to become genocidal maniacs and support the complete extermination of a people, I am all for that, but only if you learn the fucking lesson of never again and don't use it as a shield to protect yourselves while you are committing the current genocide. So until I know that that education is in the hands of people who can deftly parse the different parts of the Jewish state and Israel and Judaism, which has existed again for millennia as opposed to a 100-year colonial project, it does not belong in the hands of the Beverly Hills public school system.
No, and along with including the flag in a school system's education of another country where, like 90% of Democrats are against this, right? So you're forcing that upon the students. And, surely going in hand with that, you're going to have a lot of liberal/leftist students who are not going to appreciate that.
Yep.
So you're going to get acts of, you're just creating a situation where, hey, you, for example, you're wearing your watermelon earrings. Well, that's an act of anti-Semitism at this school.
Yep.
Right. And look, if I went to that school, I would do everything I could possible to rip those flags down and do something to say, I'm not part of this. I don't endorse this.
Yep.
Why are you forcing this upon me?
Yep.
You are on the wrong side of this. So it's going to fuel hey, we have cases of anti-Semitism because they burned the flag that we forced on their school.
Right. And we're going to haul them off to jail. Yeah. I mean, just this week, I think it was this week, the Holocaust Memorial can deny entry to visitors wearing keffiyehs.
I mean, that's
unquestionable. This would endanger the sense of security of many Jews, especially at this site. You're in fucking Germany. If you're a Jew who's going to Germany, that alone, that's where you should be really on guard. Not somebody wearing a keffiyeh. And Palestinians, the perpetrators of the Holocaust against Jews, is just beyond me. I mean, that is some manipulation. Netanyahu does it every chance he gets, talking about how Hitler didn't really want to kill the Jews. It was the Grand Mufa. They just lie and lie and lie.
But we're at the point where there are more and more examples of people on mainstream media calling it all out.
Yes.
We don't need to convince more people. We need to convince people we need a path to power to change it, because we need to convince people, look how much we all agree on this.
Yep.
And this is not affecting this whatsoever. So where is our power here?
I mean, especially the DNC was having meetings today up until, this horrific shooting in Minneapolis. But at the DNC committee meeting, they did not advance the resolution on Israel's war in Gaza. 92% of Democratic voters are against this genocide, want us to stop arming Israel. It has no bearing on the people who are supposed to be representing Democrats.
No, I mean, we're really becoming, I don't know, oligarchy is not even the right word anymore, because we're just, look, if you become a politician, you're in the wealthy elite class now, and you're not accountable to anybody ever again. As long as if you vote the right way with the people above you, you will be infinitely rich.
Yep. Yeah, that's all. So again, their idea, their business model of success is not predicated on winning elections. It's on keeping the consulting class and the lobbying class going. And that they can do when they're out of power. Perry, thank you for the super chat. I saw that happen. I saw a clip, but we have not pulled it. But I mean, the fact that Bibi Netanyahu gets to come and spread his lies and nobody pushes back, it's just grotesque. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. I just never want to forget that we had.
Oh, I don't know what I was.
I'm sorry. That was my fault.
Already.
I'm sorry.
No, you put it. No, we wanted to acknowledge what he put up.
No, I mean, yeah, I know, but yeah. Totally. Okay. Okay. So the other, go ahead. Yeah, go do it.
You said something. You were talking about how the consulting class.
Oh, the
all that matters is the consulting class getting wealthy. Well, I think we're at the phase where the system is so cooked that you can't. like all they're screening for is that you're going to play ball along the way. So like the consulting class, yeah, you can't move up in the consulting class if you have a bad opinion that goes against donors, because who's paying your bills? The donor class is paying your bills. Or in the donor class / the Democratic Party, they're combining their paychecks together to give you a check to go teach your to teach politicians that they think could win how to have the right views. So if you come with the wrong views there, and the wrong views aren't the views that can win, they're the views that you must support. So, you know, that it goes back to why Kamala Harris was picked in 2016 in the Hamptons to be the next Democratic president. And they've failed in that for now 8 years. 9 years of not doing that. They put her into VP because she can't win anything, but it just shows they're completely stuck on just picking candidates that have no opinion themselves and will not derail any of the narrative that they want. And then,
yeah, I mean, yeah, that is pretty much it. And even, you know, we just Drop Site just did a really good piece on, so we've been showing Graham Plattner, who's the Maine oysterman, who is running in the Democratic Party. What'd you say?
Oh, he's running in Maine against Susan Collins.
Oh, yeah. You froze for a second. Just for a second. Yeah. Yeah. And then on Sunday, I think on Sunday, we showed that we were getting these texts from somebody, Jordan, quick, rush money to me to unseat Susan Collins. And I clicked on it just to see who he was, because I'd never gotten a text from this person before. I had no idea who it was. There was no last name there. I actually had to go to the site where his last name still isn't listed. No policies are listed. And then not Google, but DuckDuckGo, Jordan running Maine Senate, whatever, to find out his name is Jordan Wood. But like no policies, nothing. Do you know who he is? He and his husband are partners in the what's that called when the vertical consulting super PAC money making scheme that we showed a couple weeks ago, Mothership, that raises
where 92% of the money went to the
hundreds of millions of dollars. And oh no, 92%, no, 98.2%. Only 98.2%. Yeah, only 1.8% gets to the actual candidates. The rest of the money they hoover up for themselves. So now we should all know Jordan Wood. And Ryan Grimm writes, you may have seen the viral story about the Mothership vortex recently, which we showed a few weeks ago, the network of PACs that bomb your inbox relentlessly with over-the-top subject lines, but don't do much in the way of politics. Now a power couple in the center of that vortex is aiming for the Maine Senate race. Jordan Wood, who ran 2 Mothership PACs, has raised $2 million already, while his husband's firm, Mothership Strategies, is fundraising off the race. So that is who is I'm sure he's going to be the Democratic, endorsed, like the Democratic elite, ruling elite, whatever, endorsed candidate against Graham Plattner, because Graham Plattner was just on CNN or MSNBC, one of those, and they asked him, would he vote to make Chuck Schumer the leader?
If you win next year, your first vote would be on choosing the next Democratic leader. That would be Chuck Schumer. Would you vote for him to be the next Democratic leader?
No. At this point, we need leaders that have vision and, frankly, the ability to fight. The things that I've seen recently don't show me a Democratic leadership that has that. And while I don't really have any answers on that front right now of who it would be, I do know that it certainly wouldn't be those who've been in charge.
So, look, I just want to say that was a very politically astute answer as well, because he took away his follow-up question, which would have been, well, who would you pick?
Yeah.
And then it would be like, it would make him look like he didn't have an answer. So he just boldly said it. And I love his No.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't sugarcoating it. It wasn't it wasn't sort of placating the leadership. And that's how you're going to win a race, is just truly show that you are not going to be bulldozed by these people. And you have to show some opposition to the shitty people in the party, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Because everybody hates them. But again, here, the problem is it's all popular. It's even popular with Republicans, honestly. But it's not popular with the people who hold the strings of power. So they will always have to fight against that. At the DNC convention or committee meetings, I think it was yesterday, one of the people there, oh gosh, what was his name? Wait, I just need to find his name. Joe Salas was talking about how they wanted to pass a resolution against Islamophobia. I mean, all of these resolutions are so toothless, but anyway. But what he was saying was, we have two massively popular candidates in Zohran Mamdani running for mayor of New York and Omar Fatah running for mayor of Minneapolis, both of whom are Muslim, neither of whom has been endorsed by any of the leaders of the Democratic Party. So what does that say to everybody? That's probably more important than some ridiculous, like, oh, this is a measure against Islamophobia, whatever, while you sign bombs and talk about beheaded babies and mass rape lies. But nope.
Absolutely.
Still, they have not endorsed.
Yeah. Look, the saving grace about seeing that guy on CNN, for example, is like, he knows that half of CNN's audience doesn't even trust CNN. So like when CNN's audience, because normally the only real confrontation these leftists get are from the media, like, because the public agrees with them.
Yeah.
So like you said, so the only confrontation a progressive is going to get if he goes on anywhere is from an actual reporter who's not going to follow up with any meaningful question, who's going to try to do their best to discredit him, because that's what their donors want.
Yep.
Get some zingers against the progressive. That's why we have you on CNN. So a guy like him or a guy like Zohran who can handle himself, I mean, it's kind of needed, as much as I don't necessarily like somebody very well trained in politics, you need to have some political acumen about how to deal with the shit in front of you.
100%. And to come prepared. We have a couple more clips that we want to show with Democratic stuff and Zohran, but should we spin? It's been an hour. I feel like we should spin, or I'm just going to start filling myself up without the wheel. I just realized it's been an hour.
Spin.
All right. Let's see if we get some noise with it.
I think I turned on the sound.
Okay.
Disco? Okay, good.
There we go. Thank you. I manifested it into the destiny.
Well done.
You're welcome, everybody.
Oh, this is too peaceful. I don't like this.
It's very peaceful. I have to say, I like the look of this, but I miss the noise of our old wheel.
Our choices, yeah.
Maybe we alternate. Okay, lefty laws. Let's see it.
Lefty laws. We have lefty laws. Let me just do that thing up. We only have one, but yeah. Okay.
All right.
Here we go. Taylor Swift. Let's go.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No! God, please, no!
Babe.
What?
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged.
What? Pull it up.
I'm pulling it up.
Yes, pull it up. Big screen.
Genius.
Screen share.
What was I thinking?
Look at that. It's in the garden.
So pretty, right?
Taylor, not just that. He proposed to her in the secret gardens of her mind.
He's doing more.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit more. Yeah, that's good. Wow. Antique inspired rock for our queen.
It's perfect.
Let's go, Trav. You fucking king, dude.
Wow, I know when the wedding is. I can see October. I can also see November.
Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married.
And the dynamite emoji. Look.
Because their love is explosive.
No. TNT. Travis and Taylor. Come on, keep up.
Hey, so how do you think he did it?
Do you think he got down on one knee and said it's a love story? Baby, just say yes! Just think about the wedding album.
Babe, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged.
Nice.
Do you want to see the photos?
No.
Want to see her ring?
No.
Great gardens of her and mine. You don't give a shit?
No.
It feels like your chicken killing dream. But like opposite, but that's funny. Yeah, I heard she finally got her man. Put a ringer on it.
Look, I only showed that so we could say fuck Taylor Swift. Sorry, Swifties, but like between COVID and her flying and how little she cares about anybody but herself.
Yep.
You know, like libs love her because she said like
fuck
one
Trump
bad thing
or
about
whatever.
Trump.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that it's just she's so emblematic of like the lib ideals because she's spreading COVID everywhere.
Yep.
She has every city like she's the biggest super spreader of COVID that ever walked the
last
planet.
year for sure. I'm gonna give
So
her
on that note
to her last year, and I would give it to Bill Gates overall. But yes. Not great people. However, just as I do with Kanye West, I will still listen to her music and maybe even karaoke to it. But I agree with you. Yeah, disgusting. Okay, let's just keep going a little bit with Democrats because as the party of opposition, we need to highlight the moments that they get right and the moments they get wrong. Here we have Zoran, I think, talking about his competition, as you were saying, with a level of astuteness that is commendable.
And I want to talk about just kind of how you view this heading into the general election now. It's a very unique general election with many players. Who do you see as your real primary challenger going to November?
Donald Trump. You know, in many ways we have a number of different candidates, but three of them are Donald Trump's candidates. We have one that he is currently coordinating with in former Governor Andrew Cuomo, another that he's functionally bailed out of legal trouble in Mayor Eric Adams, and then another, Curtis Sliwa, who belongs to the same party as him, the Republican Party. And what we're seeing right now is that our president is currently investigating the option of interfering with this election, always working backwards from how best he could stop our campaign. Mm-hmm. And I understand why he's threatened, because of the fact that while he ran a campaign looking to deliver an easier and a lower cost of living for Americans, he's shown no interest in actually doing so, while we will actually deliver on this agenda.
So as opposed to Gavin Newsom doing AI generated memes and dunking on him and having his own like Make America Gavin Again, merch, that is a smart response to I'm running against Trump, I think.
it is. And as much as I would like a little bit farther from him, but he's in a safe range of where he should be to get elected. Like you're trying to get elected. So as long as you don't sell out your values, for fuck's sake, get elected and then call out the leadership even more. But the aggressive version of this is, I want to ask the Democratic Party why we have a big tent, but you won't endorse me, who's extremely popular, has popular ideas, but you only open up more avenues for the party to respond with attacks.
Yeah.
So like he's already doing well. If he did that, that would get actual attention because somebody would try to put a zinger back on him.
Right.
And it would be more of this because, they're right now Cuomo's running these look at the DSA policies in New York. And here's what the DSA policies say. So he's talking to people on the streets, which are totally not paid actors.
Yeah. But he's doing great. And then to your point of like, okay, the only, the people love him, but the pundits who are paid handsomely by, cable media don't. Here he is. How are you going to pay for it? And isn't this going to scare all the billionaires away on CNN with Aaron Bruno?
The city tax, though, and I know that takes effect with people right now, that top rate of people of 50,000 or more. So if you're going to be adding 2% to people at $1 million, that I just did the math, right? Well, but that's going to be an increase of 51% of what they pay now. I'm not saying cry for them. I'm saying if they leave, you're not going to get that money. And when you increase someone's taxes by 51%, aren't a lot of people going to leave?
We're saying we're increasing it by 2% of what it is right now. And ultimately, I'm guided by the facts. The Fiscal Policy Institute did an analysis of the top 1% of New Yorkers and found that they leave the city at 1/4 the rate of other income categories. And when they leave to what are called high tax states, New Jersey, California. So what it then comes down to is, why are they leaving? Is it fiscal policy or is it actually quality of life? And I've heard that time and again from wealthier New Yorkers, from all New Yorkers.
So it's talk. They're going to go to Florida and all you think is talk.
In 2021, when I came to the state assembly, we had the same fight to fund public schools, to raise taxes on billionaires and corporations. We were told millionaires would flee.
Yep.
And we now have more millionaires.
Okay, so the New York Times is saying that Mayor Adams is trying to gather business leaders to support him, to say this is going to be bad. And Bill Ackman, billionaire hedge fund manager, of course you know of him, New Yorker, he said he agrees with you that the city's broken. Okay, but he has a real problem with your economic policies. He said the ability for New York City to offer services for the poor and needy, let alone the average New Yorker, is entirely dependent on New York City being a business-friendly environment and a place where wealthy residents are willing to spend 183 days, the amount you need to be taxed, and assume the associated tax burden. Unfortunately, both have already started making arrangements for the exits. So you just think that isn't going to add up. And by the way, that corporate tax rate that you're talking about, that's a big increase.
That's matching 7.25% going to 11.5%. And the point of it is that if it works for our regional neighbor, why can't it work for us? And with Bill Ackman, this is someone who put $500,000 into Andrew Cuomo's super PAC, someone to whom clearly money is not an issue. And ultimately, even for him, life would get better. Because what I'm looking to use this money for is to make the quality of life across the city better.
Okay, he's not alone. There are a lot like him, whether it's Ken Griffin or CEOs of big banks. Would you meet with them?
I'll meet with anyone. I will meet with them and I'll explain why I believe in the necessity of raising the top corporate tax rate. And I'd also tell Bill Ackman that I firmly disagree with his attempt to dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion across the country, because it's not only against the morals of so many, it's also against the actual bottom line for so many businesses. And as a businessman, he should understand that.
All right. That was master class in how to deal with the press, because
he
pointed out, hey, your sources are paid by the enemy.
Yep.
Like, why are you, I mean, you could be more direct about it, but, her messages to Democrats largely, right? Because they're the ones, they're catering to.
He's too dangerous. All the billionaires are going to leave and ruin the whole city.
Yeah. But he points out that this guy that you keep quoting, who works for the other guy, is against the DEI stuff. So like, what do you stand for, Aaron Burnett, and people who are listening to Aaron Burnett? I mean, he cut her down on a surface level, but on a deeper level, the people who care about those issues a lot, like it worked. It's very effective.
I think it's really effective. Also, he spent more money than we would tax him. Like, money's not the issue here. There's something more, disgusting, right? Because he spent more money than that trying to get a Trump affiliated candidate back on the ballot when he's talking about Ackman, right? So like, in every single way, Ackman is a liar and disgusting, but willing to part with that money. So it really doesn't have to do with money. So yes. And to like exactly what you were saying before, of course, she's just a spokesperson for the billionaire class. And then they'll talk about the waves of crime, and they'll never talk about the fact that, they'll blame it on families and community. Well, what kind of community do you have when your families have to work 3 jobs and can still barely afford rent or food? Like, they'll blame it on COVID, the lockdowns. Sorry.
It's so wild to me that Adams is still in this race. Like, between Adams and Cuomo, they're both so pathetic on every level. Like, if I was a Democratic consultant who had to push these Democratic lib ideas, I would tell them to pull the plug and just give Mamdani New York, because you're making all of our lib shit really fall apart.
Yeah, unpalatable even to diehard libs. So this is probably going to get us tagged or flagged or whatever for copyright. But here is Eric Adams doing his best campaign. At least these guys are going to fight it out together.
We've had an ongoing debate about what the campaign song is.
But I'm a creep.
This is the auto talk. No, they told it.
I'm a widow. What the hell about you?
And I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside.
I don't belong here.
So that's an Eric Adams ad now. So at first, like last week, we didn't show this video, but last week he was trying to take down Mamdani because there was some like men's day or something. I don't know. In the park, people were bench pressing as men do.
Was this he couldn't bench press
135 pounds.
Yeah.
I feel like I could bench press 135 pounds, but maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. But anyway,
Sorry.
I can't. You sure? Yeah. Really?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
With a spotter? Come on. I'm super strong.
It's not relevant to me at all anyway, but maybe.
But it's so stupid. Like, who the hell cares, right? Like,
Yes,
FDR
exactly.
couldn't run a race, right? He was elected 4 times. He was so popular that the Republicans gave term limits. Like, what kind of ableist bullshit is this?
Completely. Mamdani looks better not being able to lift the weights than RFK Jr. looks lifting the weights because he's wearing jeans and no shirt and
Wait a second. Have you seen RFK and Hegseth doing pull-ups?
Let's go.
I'm just going to show it again in case you didn't key in fast enough. Here we go.
I don't want to watch it again.
Look at that. Look at those. Oh, I can do a pull-up like that.
Pull-ups.
I can. If that's how you have to pull up for that fitness challenge, I can do that kind of a pull-up. Just one more time. In jeans and not in jeans. That's not a pull-up.
It's not a pull-up.
Not a pull-up. But anyway.
In defense of pull-ups, I've always been like really fit and the gym guy, but I suck at pull-ups.
Oh my God, I've never been able to do
it's not declarative of pull-up. Like it's a very niche kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. I was just all of a sudden I saw something about me going to the gym. Like, no, I do not go to the gym. Oh, Xander can take me to the gym. That's very funny. Yeah, I can't do pull-ups. Okay. But so this was last week. This was Eric Adams' tactic. Like this corrupt, like 64 versus 33, a lifetime of hard work, says the guy who did he take payoffs from the Turkish government or something? And then also, so that he wouldn't get prosecuted, told Trump he had free reign with his ICE goons in New York City. Hard work versus a silver spoon. The results speak for themselves. The weight of the job is too heavy for Mom Scrawny. The only thing he can lift is your taxes. I really hope.
Okay.
Yeah. That Zoran doesn't go down that route.
Nobody cares, honestly. I was just gonna say on that picture, it really looked like Adams had 35 pounds on his rack versus those look like plates for Mamdani and Adams. Those don't look like plates to me. They look smaller, but I could be wrong.
I don't know, but
it's irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
It's completely irrelevant. Nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody.
Like the point that even tweeting about that, your stock went down, Adams. Like literally nobody on earth who didn't already just somehow love the Democrats. Like you changed no minds. You only made people think this is all you got. This is what you got.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's it. They are so desperate, pathetic. It's embarrassing. Nobody cares. Healthcare, please. Fucking healthcare. Like, what are you talking about? I hadn't realized I think we showed, but we talked about the scavenger hunt. So apparently the backstory to the video that Mamdani put out with the scavenger hunt, which was him like eating from a bag of chips and leaving a little trail, was the week before that.
Or are you talking the chip story?
Yeah, with Eric Adams trying to like give money to some, but we didn't talk about that, and I didn't know that. I didn't realize that so just in case anybody doesn't know, do you know this well? Because I didn't realize that was a little dig at Adams, which is funny. But yeah, go ahead. Describe it.
So Adams, God, I don't know what level of staff they were with him, but at one point she was high up within his leadership internally, and she met with the reporter and gave her a bag of chips that had $50,000 cash in it, I believe.
It was open, but then crunched down with a chip clip.
Yeah.
Weird anyway, but gives it to the reporter. Yeah. And then the reporter walks away, opens it, and there's a pile of cash in there.
Yeah. And especially weird and just the comfortableness she had doing that, because this was also somebody who hadn't said anything positive about Adams. She was antagonistic to him before. So it's like layered with stupidity and arrogance of like, this won't come back to hit us, showing a reporter a Doritos bag full of cash.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just the craziest, most outlandish corruption ever. And yes, I could, but if you're passing out bags of chips like that, there are lots of us around here who would love to get that lucky bag of chips.
If Cuomo's guy or woman approached me with a bag of chips at $50,000, I would take it, turn around, take out $20,000, turn back around to her, turn the camera on, and say, "I'm not taking your money. You,
yeah,
I'm going to take their money and fuck them
exactly.
over.
Yeah, take it."
Duplicate. Or
anyway, so that I didn't realize because it was I thought a really cute video, but I didn't understand why he was eating chips. I was like, oh, it's like the trail of crumbs, whatever. But it was a zing. So I mean, but but then like, okay, enough. Like, great. I'm glad he did something kind of cutesy. I love the idea of the scavenger hunt and bringing community together and finding some joy and passion, and also again, having that sense of community and response and responsibility to the people who are your supporters, so that when you need them to show up, to be like, no, we said we're having city run grocery stores. I'm not leaving here. I can't. I've got tens of thousands of people who I made that promise to. They're going to out there rioting. Like, that is the inside outside strategy. That is what FDR used. That is also what MLK used, right? Like, that is the way that you put pressure on the people in power. You do not abandon your base. You help it grow and empower them. And I do think that scavenger hunt was a brilliant way of addressing many different issues. That's my feeling.
Yes, on point, Lila, as Kitty says.
Thank you.
But absolutely, look, for us to see a true success in New York and a change in policy, he has to leverage these people continuously. And he will. If he doesn't, we'll know if he doesn't have a call to action to these people for policies that match what he ran on damn near immediately, it's a sign right off the bat that he's selling out, because he should be, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to fall through. We're going to see what happens when we mobilize together a shit ton of people against our government, against our politicians, and force them to comply with our views. And if they don't do it, as long as he does it and the people get out there, if they really don't follow through, hey, you're going to get another fucking 27 Luigis in New York. Because
on every
tried the thing. We tried the thing. That's the thing. We tried it for years and decades.
Yeah. We've tried it. And sorry, Pat, I was just looking for anybody to say you're right. And it's just not happening today. I'm totally joking. I'm joking. I just can't scroll back that fast without looking cross-eyed.
Let me log in my alter ego for comments.
wait. We got one. Look at that. Kitty.
Little force, but I will take it.
No, come on. There were others way up there. It's just I started like
scroll way up. Scroll way up. Back in like 10 minutes into the show, I said something right.
Okay, wait, that's not true. All right, let's go. Oh, there we go. Here it is. Look at that. They're just coming out. You're 100% right.
Just have to beg people.
There we go. We're both right. It's a tie. It's a beautiful tie. Okay, let's just finish up with Democrats and then we can go. Not that I care at all what Charlemagne Lagarde says. Another ding we're going to get for copyright, whatever. But I think that Jeffries is possibly toast. So let's just see what Charlemagne Lagarde, big arbiter of politics, has to say.
I love having the minority speaker, Hakeem Jeffries. Because, I'm a political nerd. Like, I love talking
Charlemagne
politics.
hates him.
You do?
I don't hate him. I just don't think he stands for anything.
Well,
I think that I call him Apex Shakur. Like,
well, he definitely. We did talk about messaging, and I actually went to the Capitol and had a meeting with him. And we talked about messaging and how I was like, the frustration with the party is y'all have to get more gangster. Like, stop going by the politics of the late 2000s, in 2010. And you have to, like, rise to the occasion in the messaging. And he did. I saw him do more afterwards.
Hakeem is a puppet. Hakeem's not doing anything if Chuck Schumer don't tell him to do it. And it's simple as that.
I mean, I agree with that totally. Although he does not have a consistent ideology. He's a mess. But also, apparently, this was already coined by Twitter user Justin Boldaji 4 months ago when Hakeem and Corey did their like Raisin Hell album cover BS, how they were fighting.
Oh,
Trump.
I hadn't heard Apex Shakur.
Yeah, and he wrote Apex Shakur way back then. So just want to give credit where credit is due.
We showed that was a show cover right there.
Yeah,
the picture. Remember we used that one.
Run DNC.
And I mean,
baby.
Look, she's there calling herself a political nerd, but it doesn't mean you're on the right side of things. You're paying attention to. I mean, nerd in her opinion is probably like, I watch a lot of CNN and MSNBC.
Yeah,
and I'm close to power, so I got. Like, why are you close to power in the first place?
Yeah.
And so you get to meet with Jeffries and tell him
he doesn't do town halls. Yeah.
He needs to change his messaging.
Right.
Well, you're saying like, hey, Dems are doing things right, but you got to look tougher or something. Messaging is the bullshit part. It's not the real part.
Yeah.
So like, I appreciate him look, I think he's an honest guy. I think he is an honest guy. Rogan's an honest guy. The other white guy who's hilarious, but is terrible, who has the podcast, is an honest guy.
Theo Vaughn, is that what you mean?
Theo Vaughn is an honest guy.
Right.
Like, it's just that they're it doesn't mean they're right. Like, they're very, I don't think they're like, because he says a lot of shit on the Breakfast Club.
Right.
That is wrong. Like he's just, he's just
a lot of
wrong.
what like Trump does, where he's not read enough. He doesn't have knowledge of history. He's wildly underinformed. He goes with his gut and also whatever the last person in the room who he kind of like says, right? Like when they had Jill Stein and Butch Ware on, I thought they treated Jill Stein abominably. Like whatever disagreements a person might have, it just felt like high school bullying and disgusting. And he was in charge of that.
But I think where I think I separate him out from the others,
right?
From Rogan, and I don't think he's so influenced by the people in front of him. I think he has his more core values and beliefs that he's formed because just him pushing back on her there. Like, I don't like the others, Rogan and Theo Vaughn can totally be they'll change their mind on a heartbeat.
Right.
During the show, if the person is just convincing enough. And he's not that guy.
Yeah. Although I wonder if it's because he's just started a show. Doesn't he do it with Tony Schultz? Is that his name? Schultz? Or he has a show with another one of those guys.
Is that a show? Because I saw an episode, but I didn't know what it was. I saw a clip or two from it. The Democratic guy with the porn stash.
Yeah, we showed it.
No,
together.
I know.
But he wasn't a Democrat. He was Tony Schultz, who does Flagrant, right? Like
Flagrant.
He was one of the Manosphere podcast guys who brought Trump on and humanized him and softened him. And now he's done a 180. He doesn't like him because he said he was going to protect in vitro fertilization, which of course, because it affects him, it's what he and his wife had to do. So now he's upset with that reversal. And I think for a lot of these guys, again, super underinformed, but I think seeing what's happening in Gaza has really affected them. So, but it's not based on history or ideology. It's like gut reaction, because if it were based in some kind of consistency or intellectual integrity, you wouldn't ever be able to support Trump in the first place, right? So like, that's the problem. But I think that group of people who are really popular comedians who sell out shows, who have tons of followers, they are very outspoken and they're not responsible to anybody except for their viewers. that I think has given Charlemagne Lagarde the ability to be able to speak out against the Democratic establishment, because before he wouldn't really do that. So I don't know. I mean, whatever.
I've always been sort of mixed on him for a lot of reasons regarding that. Like he's very, he walks the fence a lot because he does want to, I mean, but it's where I think his motives are in the right place, because I don't think, when I hear bad shit from him, I think it's just a bad opinion. I don't think it's a Democratic Party influenced opinion or something like that.
I mean, he was the one who originally interviewed Kamala in 2019, and without doing much made her look like an idiot. Because remember, she talked about how she used to get so stoned in college listening to Tupac, but like she was in college, whatever, but yes.
No, but she thought that would play great with black people. You know,
that
was her
this
shtick
is
on
what the black
thing.
people like, she says. Kimmy, thank you so much. Cheers to you. Cheers for the super chat.
But back to what you were saying real quick, and we'll move on. I think a lot of the Theo Vons and the Rogans and even Charlemagne the God, it's based on, they're changing their opinion on Palestine is based on a couple of things. It's one, they never speak to real people who are on the side of Israel, right? Because they don't exist for the most part. It's just terrible pundits and people they tell them to go on their show or something, and it's easy to see through the bullshit. Two, popularity. You cannot come out. The issue is so unpopular to be pro-Israel at this point. You can't do it. And the comedians can't go on tour and have a pro-Israel stance.
Right.
It just won't happen. You're toast if you do that now. But that changed a lot. Like a year ago, you still could. You could both sides things.
Right.
You'll still get Israel supporting hecklers, but they will be the butt of the show for every
totally
leftist comedian or even right-wing comedian.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, all of that is really well said. Just before we leave sort of like the Democrat sphere, I mean, this sort of goes into Israel, but this is just another thing that's happening in California, which I can't believe, because this is Democrats doing this, which is a censorship bill that I think it might have gone today or tomorrow through California State Assembly, but or legislature. If Democrats are serious about fighting authoritarianism, they cannot suppress speech on campuses or anywhere else when it's politically convenient. This is Lily Greenberg Call, who was the Jewish appointee to resign, the only Jewish appointee at the time to resign from the Biden administration over the U.S. government's continued support for Israel's war in Gaza. Assembly Bill 715 is framed as a measure to combat anti-Semitic learning environment. In reality, it imports one of the most troubling censorship tactics from the Trump era into a deep blue state. It is so AB 715 would require California's K-12 public schools to adopt a definition that largely falls in line with the one developed by the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. On its face, this might seem like a common sense measure to fight prejudice, but the Alliance's definition goes far beyond identifying anti-Semitic tropes or hate crimes. It includes political speech critical of Israel, such as calling it an apartheid state, which every single human rights organization in the world considers it an apartheid state and says it's committing genocide, or advocating for Palestinian rights. So if those would also be considered anti-Semitic, and that is going through California legislation right now. They're voting on it. I know I called and left a message at a few different, like there those like if you punch in your address or your zip code, you can get right to the people who would possibly be the ones to represent you. Something in my eye.
Yeah, the problem is, look, if that was a ballot measure, it'd be a different thing. But we need the Democrats. look at me over there on the left.
It's because something's in my eye, and I gotta move my.
No worries. Hey, you look smarter than ever. Oh, what happened?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Look at me. Go ahead. Yeah.
But if this goes through the legislature, they can pass this bill because they'll be under tremendous pressure to pass this bill.
Yeah.
There's very little coverage of this bill locally. Like NPR isn't going to report on it. NPR local isn't going to report on it.
Nope.
Local news stations aren't going to report on it. Like, no, there's so many other things that more important ish, like to hide this, or, so this is not going to get news, and it's just going to pass.
Yep.
And if anything, it'll get some news after the fact of like, why did we pass this bill that's whatever. But
well, just like the National Education Association, no, what was it? But the National Teachers, one of the biggest education NEA it was, right? And they voted, their rank and file, to separate themselves from APAC, no, from the ADL. From the ADL. And they voted on that. A Democratic vote, which was then overturned by their leaders. Right? And yeah, as you said, like, the only reason I know about this, not from the news, it's from Twitter. Like, that is truly, like, it's from on the ground independent journalists, or just people who, are aware of what's happening. But between that and the flags,
it's wild that Twitter is now a good source for local state news. Like, it's terrible at local issues. Twitter is terrible, but that just shows you how terrible our media is up and down the whole spectrum.
Yeah.
Because once you got rid of local newspapers, which are mostly gone for
Yep.
they exist, but they're not a daily part of most people's lives. So it's too small a story in the sphere of stories to make it to mainstream media, and they're not going to cover it. And then it's just going to pass, and there's no pressure campaign built on it, because it used to be everybody in Sacramento would get up and read the Sacramento Bee or the New York Times, or, so you'd hear whatever leftist opinion pieces, at least, and you don't even hear the opinion pieces anymore. And, not that I don't believe NPR is a leftist program, but they are at least a lib program. But when you kill NPR, you're killing the lib view too.
Yeah. Yes.
So there's not even,
and there is local affiliates.
Around.
Like, we have like 89.9 is NPR, but in the morning when they do morning comes eclectic or whatever, there's 89.3, which is affiliated with the greater public broadcasting, but it is local, and it is they don't mince words. They have a much more truly like liberal with a small L point of view. Wait, you said another thing.
Well,
because the Democrats passed the IHRA, they helped pass that as the definition, or that is how we should look at that. That's the definition of anti-Semitism, is the International Holocaust Remembrance Association's definition, which also,
and that was
that's
but
Democrats.
This is the important part about all that, is like, sure, that was a toothless resolution, right? Which is how Democrats defend it, of like, well, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like just saying you're against racism or something, but you're really not. Like, all that, it's all progressing, it enables the next step of legislation and the next step of making things illegal. And then here we are, is like burning a flag now is illegal, and
Beverly Hills is like, well, you can't do, and all of LAUSD is going to adopt that. How bad could it be? It's what the Democratic Party wanted. Like, it really, it's nefarious, because they do these little chips away at our protections, and then it's too late.
But I did want to go back to something I said earlier about, had they put that resolution in front of people, it would be different. But unfortunately, like, that's where we've lost all power in this situation, because if that resolution was put on the ballot, there would be $150 million to pass this thing in commercials on TV, labeling it, completely spinning what it's about the other way. And the public will be massively uninformed still, because there's no money in opposing it. There's no, who has $150 million to come out and oppose this bill?
That's right.
And counter the lies that will be on TV every fucking day. So even ballot initiatives, which should exist, and we have some potential to do things through them, we're massively underpowered. So the thing I always go back to with that is if you see a lot of commercials for local legislation, whoever's commercials you see the most are the ones you vote against.
That's a good just sort of like baseline. But also we know that like even if somehow the truth got out to the public and they did vote against it, it would be overturned. Just like in Atlanta, Cop City, just like with the NEA and severing ties with the ADL, just like when Zoran wins and nobody endorses him from the Democratic elite, or India Walton in Buffalo, or Omar Feta and the DFL in Minneapolis. Like, we do not have a democracy. The DNC argued in a court of law that it's not a Democratic party, that they have the right to pick and choose and overturn the plebes' vote. So, like, they are leaving us no options. I mean, truly, they're leaving us no options. They either silence us or they throw money at it or they overturn it. Like, there's just, it's not a democracy.
Yeah. No, we're cooked.
There is this.
Oh, I was gonna we could just push this all day.
Yes. I love that.
Let's just play
Burn, baby.
I might keep that on stock for us for
that honestly, this just cracks me up.
That too.
Well, just because they're so pathetic. I just think it needs to go into some part of something pathetic.
Do not come.
Also this, I mean, I don't know how much we're going to talk about.
Do not come. Do not
ICE.
come. Do not.
But like Dean Cain training to be an ICE agent. And we've seen those ICE agents, right? Like, I know I keep coming back to the fact that they don't wear uniforms. They wear like their stained, ripped, holy jeans and like schmata shirts. But like here he is training and he can't really do it either.
And so this time, Dean Cain isn't flying there. He's going through that obstacle course and training to be an honorary ICE agent. He was working hard out there, and this is exactly what those recruits will do as they're picked one by one. And they're at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Brunswick, Georgia.
I mean, I would not put that video out. Like, that looks like what I'd be doing. That's not impressive.
It's not, but like, honestly, to be an ICE, you're not doing anything other than just showing up with a pack of your buddies and harassing brown people.
Yep.
So you're not doing investigative work. You're not chasing people. You're just bullying people in numbers. And as soon as you show up and there are other numbers and that's equal, you leave like cowards, which good, get the fuck out of there. The community doesn't want you. But, you got to hide your face. You can be fat as fuck. Doesn't matter. Like, you're not a skilled anything.
And this is not an anti-heavy.
No, it's not a fat thing.
We're not shaming anybody. But if you're going to put it out there like you're a master race and you're like then it is important to call out the juxtaposition of what you say you're against and what you are. Yeah, sorry. Good.
I agree, but I think why they don't care about this is it's like it looks like local vigilante who is not even quick or skilled or has any abilities. He's part of ICE. Like, he's all, I know he's Superman, but it's also like, hey, he's not moving quick. I'm not moving quick. I can be racist and have a gun and do things.
Oh, you really think that's why they put it out? Oof, that's like that.
Probably not, but like, honestly,
even,
like
it's like you can do it too.
There's no harm in it.
And they're going to erase your student debt. They give you health care and everything. There's a whole list of things you can get if only you excommunicate anybody who doesn't look like a white supremacist. All right, we should spin and then get to Israel. There's a lot to talk about.
Always a fan of spinning the wheel.
Always.
Oops. There we go. Come on, baby.
What do we got? Oh, do we have a what the fuck? I don't even know what we've got.
We have a what the fuck.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yes, we do. The physics or the Wangley. I don't even know. Either one.
Let's go with physics.
What kind of principle
Let's be
is
educational.
This is the diffraction grating invisibility principle. What kind of principle is this? This is the resonance principle. What kind of principle is this? This is the refraction principle. What kind of principle is this? This is the tensequity principle. What kind of principle is this? This is the Chladni pattern principle. What kind of principle is this? This is the electromagnetic induction principle. What kind of principle is this? This is the electric motor principle. What kind of principle is this? This is the Worthington-Jet principle. What kind of principle is this? This is the water molecule dissociation effect. What kind of principle is this? This is the Marangoni effect. What kind of principle is this? This is the conservation of angular momentum principle. What kind of principle is this? This is the human body conductivity principle. What kind of principle is this? This is the triboelectric effect. What kind of principle is this? If you know, please tell me in the comments section.
I made it back. I was so worried. I made it back.
If you didn't make it, they were just going to get another puppet. So we were good. I'm not going to do politics on my own over here.
But I did in my haste to throw off my headset and run to the bathroom. I lost my little whatever the clip, but I'm back. Okay, so let's just I guess just get right into it. Nasser Hospital was attacked 3 days ago. 22 people were killed. They were first attacked a journalist who is inside the hospital when rescue workers came to help right away. There was a second targeted attack. This is just sort of a very basic explainer from Middle East Eye.
Shortly after 10 a.m. Gaza time, this is the Reuters news agency live shot, filmed from high up on Khan Yunis's Nasser Hospital. Suddenly the image freezes, the sound drops. And this is why an Israeli strike on the building, witnesses say by a suicide drone, has killed the Reuters cameraman Hussam al-Masri. Chaos as the injured are brought inside the hospital, which has once again been targeted. Outside, more journalists and emergency workers are scrambling up the stairs to the site of the blast, just below the roof. One man lifts up the equipment al-Masri was using. "Journalist," he shouts. These images shot by another Reuters cameraman, injured when the second strike comes in. This time, a tank shell. The same moment at the hospital's main entrance. This man, injured in the leg, scrambling to safety. And again from outside via the live broadcast of Al Ghad television. Emergency crews clearly visible, then obscured by smoke and debris in the aftermath. 4 journalists and at least 1 emergency worker were killed in this second strike. Both targeted a part of the building often used by media, who frequently base themselves at Gaza's hospitals for the stories and for the relative, if at these moments spurious, sense of safety they can offer.
All of the journalists who report from that corner of the hospital work for international media outlets, which means the Israeli army has complete knowledge of who is there and when, yet they still decided to strike.
Among the journalists killed were the Reuters cameraman Hussam al-Masri, Mohammed Salama, who worked for Al Jazeera and Middle East Eye, Ahmed Abu Aziz, who also worked for Middle East Eye, and Mariam Daka, a freelancer who worked mainly for the Associated Press. 33-year-old Daka was a single mother of a young boy who'd been working recently on child malnutrition and had provided images for this program. Her cousin says she told Mariam not to climb the stairs.
She had a son, Gaith. He's in the UAE with his family. She sent him as soon as the war started. She was waiting for it to end so she could see him again.
Moaz Abu Taha, the 5th journalist killed, remembered today by the hospital's head of pediatrics.
When I heard about Muad, I cried like a child about him. Muaz is a friend. He's innocent. He never talk about politics. He never talk about something. He's just document the starvation and malnutrition.
So horrific, what they call double tap attack to kill as many people as possible, which I guess they thought they could do without the world knowing. There was immediate outcry. Netanyahu right away issues a statement of a lie saying Israel deeply regrets the tragic mishap of slaughtering 22 people and shelling a hospital. Like, when is that ever okay? Unless you're Barack Obama. That occurred today at the Nasser Hospital in Gaza. Israel values the work of journalists, having killed hundreds of them over the past 22 months, more than in any other war. All wars
Which
of
actually
what the
matches everything. Look, journalists, no higher percentage of journalists have ever been killed in a war. Medical staff, no higher percentage of medical staff has been killed in a war. Civilians, highest civilian death ratio to ever exist. Death to combatant ratio.
89% of deaths, they're saying, are civilians. And that's if you only say that they've killed 60,000 people. So we know they're hundreds of thousands of people. So it's even higher than 89% civilian. Our wars with Hamas terrorists, our just goals are defeating Hamas and bring our hostages home. That's the statement he puts out in English. In Hebrew, Channel 14 says that their forces operated at Nasser Hospital with the directive of the heads of the IDF. In the past 24 hours, the level of fighting in the Gaza Strip has increased, and a targeted attack was carried out on the Nasser Hospital complex in Khan Yunis, which was serving as a terrorist headquarters. We are currently attacking terrorist headquarters and eliminating the terrorists, including those who disguise themselves as journalists. Situation report from the fighting. Okay, so the only time that we've ever seen this, and this again, going back, almost 2 years, when IDF soldiers dressed up as civilians and doctors and infiltrated a hospital in Gaza and went and killed people in hospital beds, which is another war crime. But when Israelis learned that there was an English language version of events that Netanyahu put out to pacify the outcry from pretty much every nation in the world, the IDF soldiers were furious, as were the journalists from Channel 14. And they are saying that people are angry with Netanyahu, characterizing this attack as a mishap, and they're demanding an apology from him. The other thing that happened, and then there's some videos, but this equally disgusting in a different way. Reuters, which was the outfit that was actually hiring one of the freelance journalists who was doing a live feed with Reuters at the time of the attack. Reuters puts out a statement saying initial inquiry says Hamas camera, that's their reporter's camera, was the target of Israeli strike that killed journalists. So Reuters employs a freelance journalist, doesn't even say their name, now says while that journalist was doing a live feed with Reuters, is targeted, slaughtered by Israel. And they're like, well, it was a Hamas journalist. It actually took NPR saying that it was actually the Israel attacked a Reuters live feed at a Gaza hospital complex, then struck the reporters and first responders who were covering the strike. So NPR puts out the truth. Then Reuters goes back, corrects it, and says Reuters and AP journalists killed in Gaza strike were not a target, an Israeli military person says. So they're still not coming really to the defense at all of their own journalists, their own employees.
And they're exposing that they know they're lying. By
Yeah.
the correction itself says we lied. We lied.
I mean, like, just to sell your journalists out who are facing death, their own genocide they are documenting, and while they're on a live feed with you, they're slaughtered, and you say it's Hamas, and then you're like, oh no, Israel says not Hamas. Fucking disgusting. This is the solidarity from international journalists.
I pulled up the picture real quick. I mean, it's not, we've all seen all the stuff over there, but how do you make any claims of targeting and, oh, we're sorry, we accidentally hit something, when this is the entire fucking country right here?
Yeah, that's targeted. The most moral army in the world. They're okay. So this is Dr. Nick Maynard on BBC reporting this, and he's been really great speaking out against their propaganda of always like, well, that the IDF would say, and he is not having it anymore. So they had him on. I hope they continue having him on. It's it's hard to believe that they'll allow this to allow their genocide propaganda to keep being revealed by this doctor, but I'm thrilled for every moment we get with him.
The Israeli military, as you probably heard me say there, the IDF have said they are going to investigate. They do not intentionally target people who are not involved in the conflict.
Well, I hope the BBC will acknowledge that those statements hold no weight at all these days. Those statements saying they are not responsible, they have not meant to do this, has not been borne out by any of the multiple witness statements coming out from healthcare workers and many other people coming out from Gaza. These are deliberate acts. They have been deliberately targeting hospitals. They have been deliberately killing healthcare workers. They have been deliberately abducting and detaining illegally and torturing healthcare workers. So those statements mean nothing to me, and I would hope sincerely that the BBC will recognise that as well.
Well, we're just reporting what the Israeli Defense Forces have said. And they're also, of course, as you will know, they have said many times in the past that hospitals in Gaza have been used by Hamas for military purposes.
Yes, and the BBC will also know that they have interviewed multiple healthcare workers from this country and others who have said there is no evidence whatsoever to support those claims. And indeed, the BBC will also know that the evidence provided by Israel has not been remotely verifiable and not remotely credible. So I think that needs to be acknowledged publicly by our media.
I love that, dude.
I do too.
On BBC saying the BBC is failing here, you guys need to acknowledge that you are perpetuating lies.
Yep. Because you can say, well, the IDF says, once again, the way Dr. Maynard says, the IDF is saying that it was a Hamas, terror, tunnel organization, whatever. But every time they've said that for the last 21 months, they have either been revealed to be lying or they have failed to give any proof. So, yes, that is what they say. Once again, I mean, that's a way to say it. That's how they would treat it. If Trump says a lie, they love doing that to Trump, which is great. Do it to everybody.
Or as the U.S. has defended for 2 years, but going back before all this, we'll investigate the problem, says Israel. So, okay, you'll investigate, you'll get on it. You figure out who's responsible for the 300,000 to 400,000 probably people dead now in Palestine.
Just release the hostages.
Bottom of it.
That's what they always say. Just release the hostages. Okay, which obviously, I mean, I know everybody knows, but just in case you're tuning in for the first time, that is bullshit. They've killed more hostages than they've rescued. They were offered to get all the hostages back on October 9th or 10th of 2023. They do not care about hostages, which is why they're also attacking the West Bank has nothing to do with hostages or Hamas. This was also crazy. This is Dr. Mimi Saeed. I think she works with the World Health Organization, saying that all the foreign doctors were evacuated from Nasser Hospital right before this happened.
I was just listening to your reporter saying that Netanyahu says this is a tragic mishap. This is absolutely untrue. This is strategic and intentional. The foreign aid workers, the foreign doctors that are actually in the hospital were asked to leave before this airstrike. And so that is not a mishap. That is absolutely deliberate. This is not the first time Israel has struck a hospital. We have this double tap bombing that happened, and on live camera, they hit first responders trying to rescue the casualties. If that's not a war crime, I don't know what is.
Dr. Mimi, can I just ask you, I just want to pick up on what you said. Are you hearing from your contacts on the ground that foreign doctors working at Nasser Hospital were given the heads up to evacuate Nasser Hospital before a strike came?
Absolutely. They were told some arbitrary reason that they had to leave, and they weren't allowed to come back until the next day. So this is not an accident. Israel likes to say every time they strike and break a law that this was an accident. We have seen this repeatedly for the past 2 years. When they killed 15 paramedics and shot their ambulance, they said the same thing, that this was a miscalculation, that this was an accident. This is the same narrative they use every single time they commit a crime, and we just need to see through it now.
I think they were told that they had to come for some sort of gender, no sexual harassment
training.
in the workplace sort of training. Yeah.
Yeah. So look, this is where any media group of any validity would take that evidence presented to them by her, investigate, report on it, and come out. And there've been like 50 cases of this since this war started, of like, okay, we're now making this story. Yep. We're going to follow up. And we were told on this date by this person we had on our show. And look, it's awful. Can you believe that fucking Israel planned this and told everybody to leave? And then they lied to us. Like this is not like it. This does not take a sleuth that is going to make some guy who's going to be in the movies who investigates crazy shit. This is like, I keep saying, it's 5 minutes of Googling, talk to 3 people, yep. Look at the evidence. It's all there in front of you. If CNN wanted to, they could stop this war alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Because every time it's the same journalists on the ground, it's the same people who take to Twitter. They've been right about everything from the very beginning, including the beheaded babies and the mass rape stories. All they had to do was translate. And, many of these people speak at least 2 or 3 languages. They speak English, Arabic, Hebrew. Translate what's being said on Israeli state media, where they're saying, oh no, this was a planned attack because it's a Hamas stronghold and it came from the higher ups. And then, hey, the IDF is really upset that Netanyahu is throwing him under the bus with his English public apology. It was not a mishap. Like, it doesn't take that long. We're doing it. And this happened days ago and they still act shocked. Like, there's no way that they could be putting it all together.
I heard this story on NPR either today or yesterday. I don't remember. It's all a blur, but no, it was today. It was today. And they were, and to their credit, like honestly, they do sometimes report on good stuff, like right. Accurately, right? They do. What's happening now is the volunteer doctors that want to go over there, they're denying 50% of them based on, they don't have to, Israel doesn't have to give a reason that they deny a doctor in. So what happens is these aid groups get together a list of 20 doctors that are going to go over there or something like that. Right. So they have 20 doctors all ready to go. And it takes all this planning, tremendous planning. And then the day before they're going to go over there, they deny 10 of the doctors. It's a 50% denial ratio. So there's no time to replace them with 10 other doctors. So it's built into the system that they're doing now to just let in less doctors. It's
Right.
not based on any credible reason.
Right.
They don't give a defense.
They're Hamas.
Like, it's just fucking
Yes.
evil.
They're evil. I mean, truly, truly evil. This was an article just because, again, you know, I know we talk about this all the time, but I do think it is so important to understand that this is bipartisan. This is from New Yorker, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is Isaac Chotner, he's does some really great interviews that reveal, I think, way more than the subject thinks he's going to reveal about himself or his philosophy. How former Biden officials defend their Gaza policy. The former president's support for Israel abetted a humanitarian catastrophe. I mean, that's the most gentle language ever. But Jacob Lew, who served as U.S. ambassador to the country, still thinks that the Trump White House could learn from its predecessor. When you would call them in the middle of the night and say, "What on earth happened?" what was usually the answer? The general pattern was that in the moment stories were inaccurate and that the Israeli military and government establishment were not in a position to fully explain yet. We could almost never get answers that explained what happened before the story was fully framed in international media. And then when the facts were fully developed, it turned out that the casualties were much lower, the number of civilians was much lower, and in many cases, the children were children of Hamas fighters, not children taking cover in places. Sorry, what did you say? In many cases, the original number of casualties, no, I meant the thing about who the children were. They were often the children of the fighters themselves. And therefore, what follows from that? What follows is that whether or not it was a legitimate military target flows from the population that's there. So what that means is Biden's U.S. ambassador justifies the slaughter of children who happen to have parents who were Hamas. And there's no differentiation if they were, garbage collectors, teachers, any part of the government or militant fighters, which also I have no problem with, but there's no distinction there between government workers and militant fighters, and no distinction between fighters and children. So everybody is born a terrorist, according to the U.S. ambassador to Israel under Biden.
And that's where the tech infusion of all these Palantir companies that are getting rich off of bombing kids, if you have some tech that lets us say that baby was a terrorist somehow.
Yep.
Because you in your tech can show that he's 3 steps away from somebody that tweeted something with a watermelon picture.
Yep.
That's where we're at. And I mean, seeing all this, it's like, can you imagine Hitler today, right? Like, so we're watching Nazi Germany, exterminate the Jews, and we're just let's pretend the U.S. is an ally, and we're just like, oh, we're getting reports that, well, what happened there? Oh, we can't let journalists in. Everyone we've ever talked to from the outside world says you're committing a genocide. Yeah, well, we'll just take your word on it. You're going to investigate. Oh, there's more proof again that you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. Everyone in the world, every international group says you're lying. I guess we'll just keep supporting you because what you're doing in the region is so important to us. That's the U.S. right now.
That's the U.S. and also the hatred of Palestinians. And actually, I mean, all Arab countries there. Like we have a 2-minute clip of the U.S. envoy to Lebanon treating people who are just milling around journalists, telling them that they're animals and uncivilized. But the idea that they are just all, and by the way, this is something that Nazis said. We have to kill the children of the adult Jews because otherwise those children are going to grow up and seek revenge. They are all evil. They are born Jews. They're born evil. We need to exterminate them. Never again means not treating any people like that.
You can't hate them enough.
You really cannot hate them
You can't
enough.
hate both parties enough.
But the fact that he says that in an interview, that's the U.S. ambassador talking about babies being killed because they're related to Hamas. All right. Is there any other? Oh, well, okay. Sorry, but we should just really be very aware. The U.S. voters, new Quinnipiac poll. Don't make me say that again. 50% of voters say Israel's committing genocide in Gaza, includes 77% of Democrats, 51% of independents, and 20% of Republicans. This feels actually much lower than a month ago, which makes me wonder if exterminating all of the journalists and having much less daily feed coming out is changing people's perception, because we were already beyond this, but okay. 60% of voters oppose sending more aid to Israel, include 75% of Democrats, 66% of independents, and 37% of Republicans. Let's just see what they're saying over in Israel. 76% of Jewish Israelis believe there are no innocents in Gaza, 42% fully, and 34% partially. So
that's just incredible. I mean, when you're at 76% of a country, think not a single person, baby, child, cat, whatever, is an innocent. That's just overt racism. And you held these people in a fucking locked in open air prison for decades, and you're aware of that, but you were just trained to think these are just lesser people than us, and that's how you acknowledged it and went through your life over there. Just like we're in the fucking 1850s in America with racism, and it's just that you just think these are lesser people. 73%, whatever it was. You're gonna we're trusting the news coming from a country where
doing a genocide,
so many of those people, it's not just a random,
and it's not just the government, it's not just Likud, it's not just Netanyahu, it's the country.
Yeah, you can't find that many racists in America, and we're the most racist fucking country I've ever seen. That
Israel says, hold my beer. Yeah. No, truly. Yeah. Because you cannot commit genocide. It doesn't happen overnight, which is why, all of these disgusting Barry Weiss, Free Press, making excuses for a campaign of mass starvation and famine as part of genocide, and saying, oh, well, they had pre-existing conditions, many of which those pre-existing conditions only happened because they were being malnourished because of the blockades that Israel was enforcing. But it doesn't happen overnight, which is why, we do not have international organizations that are able to enforce their decrees, right? So after the ICJ said that this is a plausible genocide, the next step is all countries around the world have to do their best to stop it. And instead, everybody focused on plausible, not really. And then, there were, all of these accusations against the ICJ being anti-Semitic, and there were sanctions on Albanese and threats against one of the lead lawyers in the ICJ. And by the time all of that is done, and that's also the day that they said that there were 12 Hamas militants who were working for UNRWA, and then they defunded UNRWA. All of these things come together, and we are now almost 2 years in, and it's like, I mean, that picture that you showed is all of Gaza. And when they're not slaughtering people, they're killing their livestock, they're uprooting thousands of olive trees. And, you know, if you are indigenous to a land and you care about that land, you don't destroy it. That's not a people who care about that land, except for commercial real estate. Fucking
the entirety of Gaza, it is basically, look, where there's dirt, that's the best place to be. The rest is gray rubble, which is concrete and chemicals and bombs, and like the toxicity of just existing there. The people that are living through this, that's the sad part. I mean, that's the next sad part, is that their lives are going to be short, just like, you know, 2 buildings in New York came down on 9/11, and everyone near that got cancer.
Yeah.
Let's just be real about it. Like, almost everybody near it got cancer and died. They're all dead. Like, the people that got exposed to that died. This is all of Gaza right now.
And when they're not destroying buildings, also there's like white phosphorus and chemicals that are being dropped on that. I mean, it just never stops. There is no let up. Oh, you're by the ocean, they go into the sea, they are killed because it's Hamas fishing. You know, like, there's no place for them to go. And, you know, there is this group we talked about who is trying to get nations, you know, and galvanize nations for a military intervention. But I mean, we would have invaded any other country 2 years ago for this.
No, I mean, honestly, look, 2 years ago, we reported on them shooting people going out to fish, like you brought up. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago. That was like right at the jump of this. Oh, you're going to try to get food?
And before, obviously, I mean, I know we know, but like before October 7th, they were killing people who were fishing. But yeah,
but this is, we've seen 2 years of like, hey, you would think if all this evidence and stuff was out in the world would do something about it. And 2 years of seeing all this awfulness has only turned us, the populace, against our governments. But we haven't managed to find a way to stop it or get power. We've all learned we can't vote our way out of it. A couple more Democrats is not going to change this, because they're all endorsing it, not fighting it, not stopping it, in the least now.
Yep.
So look, if you're not actively, vocally fighting this, you know, when they say like, what would you do in Nazi Germany oh
my God,
in the 30s, like, this is it right here. What are you doing? What are you doing?
99% Hitler. I mean, Dems
and
absolutely said that. Vote for 99% Hitler.
Yeah, I mean, if your answer is as simple as the libs and just get some Democrats in there, you're just wrong. So, you know, don't stop convincing your lib friends that we need to do something more radical than just get out there with some fucking Kamala Harris 2028 campaign stickers or something.
Brat Joy, your Brat Joy summer.
Some what are you doing to stop the war in Palestine? Well, I'm sharing Gavin Newsom AI videos. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to share some Gavin Newsom dunking on Trump videos. That's how we get there. That's how we save it.
I think we need more people also fighting against the concept that Hamas are terrorists. Like, because I think that is also an easy thing for people to fall back on. Like, well, what would you do? Which is why, like, I really never want to hear about October 7th or hostages ever again. As awful as it was, like, unless you're talking about the 76 years before that and every day since October 7th. This is a good, very quick video, but just, you know, because we talk about Norm Finkelstein, who right away set me straight on October 7th or 8th of 2023. Not that but like it was so clear that you do not call the people fighting for their liberation, no matter what, terrorists. We don't say Nat Turner was a terrorist. We don't say that the Polish, the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising was terror, even though it was for some of the people who were victims of it. But when people are fighting for their liberation and you've given them no other way, those are not terrorists.
Palestinians had every right to do what they did on October the 7th. Israel has been under the UN Charter as an occupying power and under Geneva since 1967. It has never fulfilled its responsibilities as an occupying power, never intended to fulfill them. In fact, it has dispossessed the Palestinians of their lands, of their orchards, destroyed their homes, killed their children. It is an irresponsible, under the law, occupying power. Therefore, the Palestinians had every right to do what they did on October the 7th. Every time that F-16 flies over Gaza and drops that 250-pound bomb and kills that child, you are guilty, America.
I mean, you need that moral clarity, because calling everybody Hamas, calling it a terrorist attack is ahistorical, it's inaccurate. No human rights organization, even if atrocities occurred that day, even if it is illegal to do some of the things that they did, I am not saying, of course, that whatever. I don't even want to, I don't want to hear about October 7th or hostages or Hamas terrorists. I just don't care.
I don't want to hear about it. And I mean, I think it is important to take away the Hamas narrative entirely.
Yep.
So, like, honestly, how I do it when I talk to people, I say, look, and I explain what they've lived through there.
Yep.
And I say, if the only group fighting for me in that situation is Hamas, I am fucking Hamas.
Yep.
You know me. I talk to these people who I know. I'm like, you know me. Do you think I would live in that situation and not join whatever resistance existed to stop that?
Yep. And especially even if you don't have the ability or the courage or the fortitude or whatever to join it, shut your mouth and don't say anything negative against the people who are fighting for your liberation also, because nobody else is doing it. The whole, except for Ansar Allah, the Houthis. I mean, Hezbollah has been completely decapitated.
And imagine being in Palestine and sort of connected to the messaging outside. Like, you have internet and, you know, you're watching like a Palestinian American, right? For example, or somebody living here, watching all this, and then just seeing, look, what more do we have to show you fucks in the whole fucking world? And you're not doing a goddamn thing. Like, and you're gonna fault me and my people that I know over in Palestine who are on the resistance group, the only one really.
Yep.
Like you're gonna I'll show you some more atrocities against my literal family who, you know, I know 52 people dead in my family. I can point to you right now, and nobody's doing shit about it.
Right. Yeah, like,
So,
even if
no.
you didn't know before, for the last 2 years, you've been seeing daily atrocities, slaughtering, that still isn't changing any action from any other countries in the West. So with full knowledge, with full documentation of ongoing genocide, nobody's doing anything. Think about what happens when the camera's not on.
Yeah.
All right. It is 7:24.
We peaked 2.5 hours ago. Okay.
We did you say we peaked 2.5 hours ago? Sorry. The rest has just been yeah. All right. Just, you know, always know that I can do pull-ups better than this. I hate those guys so much.
Those are both terrible people.
Vaccines have been approved. COVID is spiking everywhere, especially in California. The vaccines should be out soon. Does not mean you shouldn't still mask. There is the mRNA and also Novavax, which really seems to be holding up to the test of time. So protect yourselves, protect your community.
And a reminder that the new recommendations are for, and the guidelines, and maybe even your insurance companies are saying you need to be 65 or older to get these vaccines. But
unless
you
you
can self-report a pre-existing condition, and then they need to cover it generally. So please feel free to self-report as a condition, because we all need as much.
And if you're not immunocompromised right now, you will be soon. So like we all will. It's just time. Like we're all headed towards something that will make us immunocompromised. So better.
But legally, you don't have to lie to people to get it. They don't need, they cannot ask for evidence of a condition or whatever. You just have to say, I have a pre-existing condition, period. Give me the shot.
Right. Can be migraines. Like there's a long list of what if you feel uncomfortable about it, there's a long list of preconditions. But even if you are a non-vaccine kind of person and don't believe in science, believe in physics, masks work with every variant. Wear a mask when you are sharing air in public.
Yes.
All right.
And if your whole thing was mRNA, you got scared by mRNAs because you watched the Jimmy Dore show. And you listen to like every junk scientist on earth that's been debunked a million fucking times over by everyone who pays a drop of attention to COVID. Okay, fine. You believe that stuff. Novavax is the old school vaccine. It's not mRNA. Get that. But as Lila said, if you do nothing, just wear a fucking mask in public, at least, in hospitals. Can we get hospitals? It'd be nice if you also did like public transit and grocery stores,
schools.
But like, can we start with hospitals? I mean, schools, fuck.
Jesus. Okay.
On a positive note.
On a positive note, thank you all. We love you guys. We're doing a show on Sunday, even though it's Labor Day weekend. I think we are.
We are.
Yeah. So we'll see. I didn't want to
be here Sunday.
Yeah, we'll be here on Sunday. What else am I going to do? Cry into my bottle of wine. I'd so much rather do it with all of you guys.
Wait, crying into the bottle of wine special edition Sunday.
Come prepared.
Let's do it.
All right. Love you guys. Keep punching up. We'll see you Sunday. Cheers.
Cheers. Good night.
Tell you the truth about our views for children of the camps, searching for electricity, constantly waiting for a destiny that they didn't see. I know I can't change the world with the next simile, but I can paint a vivid picture of the next victory. The soul lives on, even when you're dead physically. I wrote this song to lyrically end the trilogy. It won't be long, let me spell it explicitly. My voice will not die, even if they imprison me. I said that album's been in the making a quarter century. Over a decade later, I've still got the same energy, same insane enemies. It seems the pain never leaves. After Grenfell Byrne was never the same mentally. Never for the fashion tags and massive ads. This is for political prisoners feeling trapped inside, not for the rapper pulling up in a flashy jag. It's for the person on the same street wrapped in rags.